What up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Now, Cedar Point just recently announced the top throw dragster as we know it will be retired. Now, keyword as you know it. So that probably doesn't mean it's going to get completely removed. And I have a couple ideas about what is going to happen to it. I'm going to talk about all that in this video. For a little bit of backstory, Top Throw Dragster is an intimate accelerator roller coaster at Cedar Point, and as you can probably already tell, it's not the most reliable coaster. In fact, the 2 days I went to Cedar Point, it wasn't even open any of the days. In fact, the ride trains were just sitting on the transfer track, which is very weird. I don't know why. Both days it was doing that. So the ride is not very reliable. So I can totally see why Cedar Point wanted to do this, as Cedar Point is basically landlocked on space, and if they're gonna have a good coaster, they want to have it actually be a really good coaster and be very reliable for them so they can have as many guests ride it as possible. A lot of guests not getting to ride Top Throw Dragster will not be very happy, and they might even leave a bad review. So, what do I think of Top Throw Dragster? We have seen Cedar Fair and other companies do this before in saying that a ride's not going to get completely removed, but then they just do it anyway. So there is a chance that Top Throw Dragster will just get removed, but personally I don't think that is what's going to happen. I think they are going to turn the hydraulic launch into a LSM launch, not a air compressed launch, just because that is also not reliable. And also, I'm sure you guys have heard what happened to Dododonpa in Japan. It started fracturing some backs, so that's not good at all. And it actually hasn't reopened since, and I'm not sure that thing will ever reopen. So let's get into this. A lot of people have been saying that Top Throw Dragster's launch is too small to house a LSM launch. So that's not true, guys. I'm going to get into some math, and I'm going to factually tell you guys that Top Throw Dragster can have a hydraulic launch. Dragster has a lot of space with its launch, but it does not use all of it to actually get the train up to speed. Dragster only accelerates for about 275 feet of its 527 foot long launch. That is not a lot of time to get up to 120 miles per hour. Now, on Red Force, which gets only 8 miles per hour slower than Dragster, it uses 515 feet, and Dragster has 527 feet of normal launch track. However, Dragster has availability of 615 feet. But as you can see, Red Force goes up the tower a little bit with its LSMs. Not a lot, but it does go up a little bit, which that bumps it up to 697 feet on Top Throw Dragster for how long the launch could potentially be. And that's not even including where the trains usually set up right as they leave the station. Technically, they would have probably about 800 feet of launch track if they wanted to work with, which is much more than Red Force. I think 300 feet more of launch would definitely be enough to get it up to 8 more miles per hour faster. Now, here is another point that I wanted to point out. Kingda Ka and Top Throw Dragster do not reach their advertised speed. Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure is another accelerator roller coaster, which is just a bit taller than Top Throw Dragster at 456 feet. And it has an advertised speed of 128 miles per hour. However, it does not need that much speed to get over the tower. In fact, it does not hit that. According to Eltoro Orion, the average speed of Kingda Ka's trains down the launch track is 118 miles per hour, which is actually slower than Top Throw Dragster's reported 120 miles per hour. Dragster doesn't usually reach that either. Usually Top Throw Dragster goes somewhere between 110 and 115 miles per hour. Now remember, Red Force gets up to 112 miles per hour every time, and it doesn't have a lot of rollbacks. So, technically, they have ample room to put more launch track than Red Force's 515 track. they could potentially have 800 feet of launch track here. So it is definitely possible to do this. I think if what they're talking about is an LSM launch, I don't think it is anything more. I have heard a lot of people talking about them extending the top hat, which that is absolutely not going to happen. I can see it would definitely be a good marketing ploy, but there's no way they're going to do that. I mean, Top Thrill Dragster cost like $25 million when it was built, and just extending that tower will cost probably another at least $5 million, maybe even 10 because of inflation and all that stuff. So, no. I've also heard about people talking about the extending the layout or something, which Dragster already has a lot of maintenance issues, although it's not really with the layout, it's just with the launch. But still, again, with the cost, it's just not feasible to do that. Dragster is already popular, really popular, so I don't think there's any reason to extend the layout or extend the top hat. Although, if they did extend the top hat, it could potentially give them the world's tallest roller coaster again. I just don't see that happening. Why they should replace the launch? One, because it costs a lot of money to maintain. I hear that Dragster takes about $2 million in maintenance every single year. They have to replace the cables, which they are huge cables to pull the train, about 3 times a year, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, it would definitely make sense. Also, it would definitely be a lot more reliable. Top Thrill Dragster is absolutely littered with sensors. Literally over 400 magnetic brakes lift up every time a coaster train launches, and if just one of them fails to lift up, it will shut down the entire ride, which that leaves a lot of room for error. And it has a lot of moving parts. Like every 400 of those brakes move up and down. And then of course you have the huge launch, which all those moving components, if just one of them fails, the whole ride will fail and shut down. With LSM launches, there's barely any moving parts, it doesn't even touch. None of the parts of the train touch. Literally all that happens is you have one of the fins in the middle, usually on the track, and then you have 2 fins on the train, and then it just glides along the track with the magnetic field. I would call the hydraulic launch just an old train, kind of like the Dollywood Express, which has multiple moving parts. The LSM launches are more like Teslas, like electric cars, which are far more reliable. So that's just my opinion about what will happen to Top Thrill Dragster. So there's not really any arguing that this can happen. If Cedar Point wants to, they definitely can put an LSM launch on Top Thrill Dragster. It's just if they do it. There is already a ton of construction walls around Top Thrill Dragster. So I am very excited to see what they do, and as soon as we get an official announcement, I will tell you guys what is happening in Top Thrill Dragster. However, we don't know right now. This is just my speculation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave in the comments what you think will happen to Top Thrill Dragster, and that would be awesome. Also, I do think we possibly could be seeing a new queue arrangement. I've always loved to see it past the water and then go on to Millennium Island and maybe go around there, loop around Iron Dragon a little bit, and then go back to Dragster. It would be a lot cooler to be able to see all the other roller coasters while you're waiting, so you can kind of get some cool shots that we never got before. There is actually a path in Millennium Island that I will put on the screen right now that they could probably put a path for Dragster on, and then they could just loop it around more, put it between Iron Dragon, and go back to Top Thrill Dragster. That would just be awesome for the new queue line. It would also make sure that no guests will be hit by flying objects from Top Thrill Dragster, which that would just add to the safety of Dragster. But that is just my opinion. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, as it helps your channel greatly against the YouTube algorithm. And guys, as always, until next time, have a Cedar Fair day.
Stronger because it's Bodie Pierce. Yeah, I'm gonna fight for years and years, reviewing all these coaches that we're gonna deal with poses. Cause it's Bodie Pierce, the one and only Pierce.